board to cloud. We'll get started here in a minute or two. Give everybody, some people are still clocking in here.
Yeah, I can. Okay.
I see it. I see it. Okay, cool. If anybody has questions, concerns, as we're chatting, just feel free to. I believe you should all be able to unmute yourself and talk, or throw it into the chat, and we'll try to cover as much of the questions that I've got from everybody, as well as just in generally just sort of going through selling shoes. In particular, it's going to be a focus on OA, but I will cover some topics in RA. I used to do a little RA. We still do some, but we're definitely focusing a little bit more on the OA right now. And the current environment has sort of, we've adapted more to OA than RA, and sort of liking that, so probably going to stay there for a little bit. So let me see. So let me go to, or let me share my screen here. If I can get back to the, let's see. Okay, I can figure this out. There we go. Share screen, screen one. Okay, so I jotted down some of the questions and some stuff. I'll try to cover these topics. Again, if I'm going too fast, if anything, just holler or throw it in the chat. And I'm not going to be watching the chat, but Steve will watch the chat. Tell me to shut up and go a little bit slower. So, a couple things before we really get into details, sort of how I source OA. Everybody does it different. I personally, the tools that I really utilize are RevSeller, Keepa, the how many extensions, and context menu search. I'll just talk about it high level here. As we get into the actual, I'll bring up some examples. I'll walk through the details. I'm not a big TA guy or a big OA X-ray guy, but everybody does it different. Steve, I think you do rely a little bit more on OA X-ray and occasionally TA, I guess.
Yep.
I guess it's a combination of just being old school, and I started this back in 2015 when TA wasn't around and OA X-ray was just starting, and I was too cheap to pay the, what was it? Was it $100 a month at that point in time for it, or $80? I forget, but I was too cheap to actually pay for it when I started. So, so I just would utilize sort of contact, just searching websites. So, I'll bring one up here. I might go to somewhere like Hibbett, and they're having 25% off of 95%, and I might say, okay, let me look at men's shoes today. I don't do too much on the sourcing aspect, but Hibbett has a lot of like higher priced Nikes and Jordans, which can be good, but a lot of them also not eligible for discount. So I may put something like, put the price, between 25 and 50, and pull something up. So this was, this morning I didn't make it very far, but I went here and I saw this shoe, and I wanted, so 25, 25% off 25 is $18.75, which isn't bad for a slide. I cover that, and I right click and I go to this context menu search, and I've configured that to search on Amazon. So I click that, and it's going to take me here. Now it doesn't necessarily going to give me a hit because it's just searching title, and it's not always going to match, and it's going to bring up some other stuff. But if we look, far enough, here is the Benassi, I guess is that how you say it? Benassi, Just Do It sandal, which is what we got right here. That's a different one, but we look here and say, oh, there's the university, the red and the gold, boom, and whatnot. So that's context menu search. Again, I'll actually analyze that and go through that a little bit more first. But again, that's what the context menu search is. I'm not a big TA, OA, X-ray guy. I use TA all the time for wholesale and running wholesale lists, but I don't use TA very often for OA. I just prefer to sort of go to a site that I know has a sale and sort of go through it manually looking for items. As you can see, I mean, again, again, I already found that shoe, but that was literally the exact process I took this morning. And the first shoe I found, and as we go into it, it is a pretty damn good buy, in my opinion. So, again, not to say, you know, I don't know if you run TA on that same thing, maybe you would find the same damn thing. I don't know, but it's just the way that I've always done it. Let's see.
TA is not on Hibbit anyway, or Hibbit's not on TA.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point too. Yeah. I also tend to sort some of these sites that are not, you know, super popular. That's, you know, going to be hit by everybody like Walmart and Target, but, you know, a place like Hibbit can be a good place to, you know, not super sourced, and it's not on TA or whatnot. So,
And then how do you know that that store was having a sale? Someone had that question. How do you keep track of the store sales? For me, I just sign up for their newsletter.
yeah, I mean, I go through the newsletter. I have like a checklist of stores too that I'll check like in the morning, especially on the day I'm posting OA leads, and say, okay, let me check, you know, Hibbit, Olympia, you know, I think did I write some of them down here? But yeah, I mean, I definitely subscribe to emails, probably too much, almost to a point that I really should have like an email that I just use for promotions or something like that. But I don't have any super secret way besides checking the site itself and checking my emails. So that's a high level from the tools that I use. I will show them as we get into a deeper level. Real quick, I just want to cover from an RA, because I know we do have some RA folks here, and particularly from our OA sourcing group. It did come up, you know, how do I know an RA? So for me, I use the ScanPower app, and it one of the key drivers that I like about the ScanPower app that I'm not sure anything else has is it tells you the number of variations, and particularly the number of active variations. Because, you know, we'll get into, when I bring up an example, how important rank, you know, how different analyzing rank for a shoe is than a toy because of the different variations. And a 50K shoe with, you know, a 50K shoe with, or even a 20K shoe with, you know, 300 variations, you know, you're likely going to sell a hell of a lot slower than a 150K shoe with 4 variations. But you'll get the people that say, I'm not buying a shoe under 100K. Well, that person doesn't, you know, if that's really their only criteria, they're going to really end up screwing themselves, because they're going to pass on good stuff that is flying over 100,000 but has low variations, and they're going to buy crap that is under 100 variations that is not moving because of the various variations. So again, I'll talk about that in more details, but the ScanPower app is what I use because it tells you the exact active variations, and it can, you know, really help give you a feel of how fast things are moving. And again, at the end of the day, we use Keepa, you know, for everything. We are not a criteria based team, I guess I'll call myself, and my team of buyers. We do not, you know, buy things just because it's under 100,000 rank or 50,000 rank. We have very high level guidelines that, again, I'll walk through, but we are not making decisions based on some, you know, criteria checklist that, okay, it's 100 under 100K, it has under 50 variations, this is an automatic buy. I think that's a very short-sighted way to the source. It certainly can work, but it's not going to help your IPIs, and it's not going to help your turn when you're just buying stuff because it fits some, you know, random box criteria. So you really need to understand Keepa and make decisions that way if you want to make sure that you're trying to keep your turns moving a little bit faster. Again, not to say it won't be successful. If you hire a buyer and say, okay, you know, anything under this rank, and let me see if I have my ranking chart here. I do, but let me see. Let's see. So. Okay. I have a very high level one. Again, we do not use this. This is very, high level, let's see. Stuff didn't copy over very well. Let's see if I have a better way to copy this. Let's see. It's turning my random, this was 320, so that's turning into a friggin' date. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I got a better way to do it. I got a better way to do this without that. Here we go. This will work. This will work. Okay. Instead of copying, I'll just do this. Okay, so we have a very high level. Again, I don't even use this very often. My buyers probably have no idea where it is, but it's under 10K, less than 20 variations, we can buy 50. If it's 10K but 20 to 50 variations, 20 to 50. If it's 1 to 10K, 3 to 20. One of the big differences a lot of people may notice from this compared to a lot of other rank buying criteria shirts is, a lot of them pop out at 5, 3, maybe a 10. I don't, that's, if it's moving fast, we're going to buy a lot. Like, something under 10K with less than 20 variations, 50 is maybe not enough. So it's really important to better understand that. And I know somebody asked a question the other day about, or saying, it takes me too long to analyze a buy. Honestly, I don't think there is too long to analyze a buy. You want to take your time and analyze a buy and make sure you're making the right decision, and then you can buy quantity. And even when you're not at my level and spending a boatload of capital, you want to, even if you're just buying, you find something really good and you're going to buy 5 per size, and you're going to do that on a men's shoe 8 through 13. I mean, that is, what the hell is that? That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's, 11 to 12 variations times, 11 variations times, say 3 to 5. So you do 4, that's 44 shoes, and shoes are more expensive. Say it's a $40 shoe. That's, what is that? $1,600 just on one buy. So you can take your time because you've just spent $1,600 on the one shoe you found. So, so I do not rush, my OA decisions. I don't want my shoppers rushing my decisions. The RA, again, RA is a little bit different in the fact that you are really just trying to go as fast as you can and buying onesie, twosies. Again, especially if you're not in an outlet and you're in a Marshalls or a BCF, and you're happy if you can find a 3 of a 5. Then again, you have to have a different criteria and a different approach to things and moving faster, because you don't want to be spending a half hour analyzing every shoe that you scan, because you're going to have a low, probably a smaller hit rate. And the thing is, once you find something, it's not necessarily going to be a large buy. Again, in certain places. Again, if you're at a place like the Nike outlet, hey, you can buy potentially 10, but again, 10, you can buy 10 through style, 10 per style, I think is the limit at some of these places. Whereas again, you find a good shoe, you might be comfortable buying 10 per size. Again, it takes some time and some capital. So, so anyway, again, I have these for like general onboarding things for my shoppers, but I do not like them at all. I like to analyze the buy, and because again, on that I didn't even go over 250. But there could be an item that's 250 with 4 ranks, 4 variations. That's fantastic and so much better than something that,
yeah, that one stopped at 150. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I was putting that in place. I forget why I did that. I think I was tweaking this a little bit for our updated RA approach. Now that we're really focusing less on onesie, twosies, and more on quantity buying type of stuff. So, so again, that's how we source RA. We use the ScanPower app. My buyer, I'm not sourcing RA, but my buyers, that my one lone buyer that's left that shops a few hours. She uses Keepa, and we'll have computer support. If she has something and she's potentially going to buy quantity, she's not going to do that on her own. She's going to shoot me or my purchasing director a message, and one of us is gonna make the decision for her. They're not, at a sort of shopper level. We again are. I have shoppers, and then I have sort of a supervisor that oversees it. So my supervisor, director, whatever the heck I call her, she can make her own decisions, but everybody else goes through her, and then I'll jump in and help when she's tied up or whatnot. But we don't expect our buyers to just know how to do things and read charts and stuff. And again, and not to say it doesn't work, but that's just not the way we operate. Okay, so that's sort of just generals of how I source OA and RA. I'm going to go into section 3 here and start analyzing a buy. Before I do that, any questions? Okay, nothing. Okay, so again, this was the item that I found on this morning. That for those of you in the OA group, you've obviously saw. Well, not obviously, you may not have seen it, but this was posted to the group. So first thing you see up here, this is Rev Seller. There's another one that a lot of people like that I should be trying, but I haven't tried it yet. Anybody know? Steve?
Oh, I can find someone. Oh, AZ Insight.
AZ Insight, yeah. A lot of people like that a lot. I think they've actually been very good at, like, Rev Seller has not been super, they haven't changed a lot, I feel, for a while when they first sort of came out. I mean, when they first came out, this was amazing. And I was pissed at Steve that he was using it for months without, really making me use it. But AZ Insight or whatever, I have heard they have a lot of cool features, and I really do need to give it a shot. But that's what you see here. Part of that is this variation viewer. So the first thing I always do is I open up the variation viewer, because it'll give me some insights on what is getting reviews. Now, I constantly get the question, and this is a good example of one of, why are you buying that one? It has no reviews. Again, reviews are something that I use to help analyze. I'm not going to get too caught up on something that doesn't have reviews. And this one is, the University Red and Metallic Gold has 0 reviews. So somebody that's using reviews are going to say, okay, this is no good, I'm not buying. Well, this is a 187 ranked shoe, and there's only 108 variations. Now, 108 variations are a lot, but it's 108 ranked, or not 108, it's 187 ranked shoe. This thing is friggin' flying. So, let's look at the University Red one here. So you can filter here with Rev Seller. I think we have too, like if anybody doesn't have Rev Seller and is interested in Rev Seller, I think we have some type of 25% or 20% discount or something like that.
$20 discount.
$20 discount, something like that. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. So I filter by size, and then I'll come over here and look, okay, what sizes they look like they have in stock. It's saying 12, 13, 8, and 9. You can filter them out, or you can keep everything in. It doesn't hurt to look at this and see what the price is. So the lowest price one is 14 right there at 38. A lot of these ones, at least in FBA, are well over 40. We'll go with the one that's actually only $39.99. So we're getting this for $18.75, and we can see it's a 55% ROI and a $10 profit. What was I going to say here? So from a, what's the word I'm looking for? And hold on, let me pull my agenda over here. From a minimum profit and RI perspective, for shoes, I want a minimum profit of $12. I will go lower on a sandal. One of the reasons I want a $12 profit is I know there's going to be returns. you know, we get returns, 15% of our shoes get returned on average. Somewhere between 12 and 15%, sometimes it's higher. I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to have getting $8 profits and then getting, you know, the returns just are going to eat up into that. So I like to have a $12 profit. Sandals like this, an open-toed sandal should theoretically, and forget theoretically, you know, the data that I have shows that it returns a lot lower. So it's also lighter to ship. It's easier to prep. That's the other thing with shoes. You know, they can be heavy, costly to prep, costly to prep, meaning it takes a while. So whether you're doing it in-house or paying a prep center, you're going to pay some money to have it prepped. You're going to pay some money to ship it, and you're going to end up with returns. So I don't want to be buying any of that stuff for under $12 from a profitability standpoint. And ROI, I'm looking for 50% usually. Again, I may go a little bit lower where it makes sense. And again, where I'll break my rules is a sandal because, you know, again, especially a sandal like this, I would expect low return rates as long as we don't screw up the prep and send this to the wrong ASIN or, you know, wrong size or, you know, send 2 left feet, all that type of stuff. You know, the return should be a little bit low. So I will, so even though it's a little bit low on this side, you know, I still, to me, this is still a buy. Now this is the lower of the selling price ones here. You know, if you go down to size 12, it's selling for $49.99, or at least I should say it's priced at $49.95. So we put in $18.75, and now you're looking at almost 100% ROI and an $18 profit. So that looks very nice for a shoe, and you know it's, you know, something that I think would sell pretty good and worth buying. Now that's just straight up looking at the profitability, looking at the ROI. That doesn't mean that it's actually any good. We know the rank is good at 187. What we don't know is, and forget good, it is freaking flying at 187. What we don't know is out of that 187, there's, what did I say there is? There's 108 active variations. It probably goes, you know, back and forth on that between, you know, high 90s to 125 as things are going in and out. There's 397 out of stock variations, and some of them are never going to come in stock, but some of them will you know, go in and out of stock here. So so you can see there's not an insane amount of colors, and you know, I would assume that this one's going to get some sales. This right here tells me black is flying, black and white is doing well, and then black and gold. And again, that's a general theme that you'll see in a lot of things. One thing you got to keep in mind is how long some of these have been on reviewed. You know, maybe there's no reviews because it's newer variation. Now this one, I am a little surprised it has no reviews. It gives me a little bit of a flag. Now RevSeller doesn't bring in all the reviews. It brings in like the 200. Now, that's not more than 200 either. So it is a little concerning, and we'll dive into how we analyze that. So,
and that's only the reviews since like last month.
What'd you say?
I said that's only the reviews it said since last month.
Oh.
Usually it's like a whole year, but I guess there's so much that it only goes back that far.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Again, that one of these things might tell me. So no, I don't know. So, but anyway, again, at the end of the day, what I use is Keepa. I come down here and I say, okay, like, is this selling or not? Well, what the hell is going on? There's no reviews. How do I know this is selling? Again, at 187 rank, it's probably selling just for the mere fact that it's got to be getting some so much traffic that some of these things are selling. But again, what I'll look at is I'll look at Keepa, and I look at a couple of things here. So the main thing I'm looking at here is, okay, what type of movement are we having on the item? And you can see, you know, on April 24th, there was 2 offers and was selling for $57. And then, you know, what day was that? That was April 23rd, 5th or whatever. the 2 more weeks later, we're at 7 sellers and some jackass is priced at $28. Interesting.
It was FBM.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're selling it for $30. Ship
Yeah.
it, box, USA. 100. Yeah. So somebody got these probably somewhere cheap for $10 and said, "Okay, good. I'm going to sell them for $30. Look at me." Obviously, they didn't last very long, and it went from 24, $25. And again, a lot of people set the repricer nice and low. So it was priced at 25, and then a bunch of people will chase him down, especially if they're configured to like price say X amount over FPM. And now you got even the other people, even when that jackass who's selling it for $30, sells out, you have a bunch of people battling it out now to $30 to $35. And again, what I see is 7 offers on May 7th and 2 offers on May 10th. So is it possible? It's people that restricted, price alerts. Sure, it's possible, but it certainly looks like, maybe drop shippers that were selling on another platform, people that own shoe stores that sold it in store, which again, nowadays might be a little less common. But again, it's possible? Yes. But what I'm seeing is ups and downs on Keepa. I'm seeing a high price. If there was that many people and it wasn't selling, people would start to tank the price. Because some people love to do hey, I haven't sold anything in 30 days. Let me lower my price, X percentage, and systematically do that. So, it's quite possible that, it's odd to me that there'd be all this movement and no sales. So this tells me this is moving. We can even see this jackass, Chicago. Sorry if you're on here. I don't think we have him in our group, but he likes to push the price down and sell things that he pennies everybody down and prices down. So he has it. He popped in there and sold out whatever he had, and price went back up to 44. Again, this to me, from what I can see on the Keepa chart, shows me it's moving. Is it moving as fast as the black with the 57 reviews? Probably not. And we can even take a look at one of those examples to see what that chart looks like. And even probably not. It's not moving as fast. That thing's got to be flying. It's probably moving 50 shoes per day or whatever, per size or whatever. But this to me tells me it is moving, and I am comfortable buying 5, 10, 15 of these per size to sort of test it out and see how it works out. Let's see. Let's see what I have on my thing. So 1 second here. So somebody asked about fit percentage. I don't look at fit percentage. I probably should. I really don't. Again, sometimes I will just because it's a weird looking shoe, a women's strappy shoe. We just do a lot of athletic shoes and sandals and stuff that doesn't, concern me as much for true to size type of thing. But again, it is something that I guess it certainly doesn't hurt to look at that, but that is not a driver for my decisions. I'm trying to see what other stuff I might look at.
There's some questions piling up too.
Okay, cool.
I was just waiting for a break.
Yeah, that's a good time to sort of break. Again, that's how I would analyze sort of a buy. I'll get into sort of sizes and some other stuff, but let's hit the questions.
How many would you buy of the red one?
Well, I bought, I think 10 this morning per size, I think, something like that. One thing that, and this is not to knock our OA buying group, But I posted this, and now I'm sharing it with, other people. But, I posted this to a group that has, I think, 40, 50 people in it. So that would make me more hesitant than if I found this myself and wasn't sharing it with other people.
All right. Same as like any list.
Yeah, again, anytime I buy from a list, and I've had this conversations with some of my buyers, is I like lists. I support lists. I got no problem with lists. I'll use a list. You can use a list. But I do have to take in mind that, hey, if this was shared to a list of 30 people, 50 people, it's going to have a lower. There's going to be a chance of more people popping on it. And again, it also depends on what the supply is. Like, okay, does it look like Hibbett? Can I check how much Hibbett has? And does Hibbett have only 30? And I can buy. Do they only have 30 of size 12? And hey, now again, I wouldn't do this on my own list, but hey, they only have 30. Let me buy it all out before anybody else gets a chance. That type of stuff. But and sometimes we buy stuff that sells stuff that has lower stock. So, but if I can't tell the stock and they may have hundreds, and I'm sharing with a lot of people, I'm going to go a little bit slower. And slower for me is, I bought 10 per size. For me, the one thing that I look at too from analyzing this is, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? Best case scenario, I'm selling this for $18 a pop, making, selling them fast, selling 10 in 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, what? It's going to, the history of this thing, is what? You got to go all the way. Last year, Amazon came at $25. We had that one jackass that was FBMing 25. But, really the odds that I sell this below 30 is not a big risk as far as I'm concerned. If it tanks, I want to sell it for $30. I'm going to move on. And if I buy 10 and maybe I sell 3 or 4 at 50, 3 or 4 at 45, 3 or 4 at 30. And then even if I sell a couple at 8, under 30 and lose money, the profit's going to be there from, the other purchases. To me, there's just no big risk. I mean, even if I have to sell these for $25, I'm losing $2. This is the type of risk I like. And that's why, I'd rather buy quantity in this and end up having to, it's going to sell. I mean, it's 187 rank. It's freaking flying. It's going to move versus buying a, 150, an 80 rank shoe with 30 variations and hoping it's going to sell, let me buy 3 of those. And then in a year, I'm still, and it cost me $50 in a year, I'm still sitting on 2 of them. So I prefer the risk that I'm going to sell at a loss, but it's going to move, than the risk of I'm buying a 750 rank shoe that's, I'm hoping will come back to glory because it has been overpriced for a long time or whatever. Again, those sell too, and there's a place for that. But from my perspective, and to make sure you're turning your capital, to make sure you're keeping your IPI, I'm betting on faster moving products and maybe overbuying them than buying higher ranked stuff, hoping that it'll turn eventually. And I tend to babble when one simple question, but one of the things that somebody said the other day in the group was, hey, shoes are, how do you manage capital because shoes are slower sellers? Shoes are not slower sellers. Shoes are slower sellers because people don't know how to buy shoes and they buy stuff that are slow moving because of their buying criteria. Shoes are not slow moving. I have plenty, and I think I have pulled up an example. Like, this shoe, we moved 76 of this one size in the past 7 days, 278 in the past 30 days, 545 in 90 days. I buy the shoe for like $25 to $22, and I'm moving them for $60, and they're flying. It's that they move. You just need to know what, you need to make sure that you have the right criteria. Just like a toy that's ranked 250K rank is not going to move fast. Well, a 50K shoe with 300 variations is not going to move fast, probably, especially if it's a slower moving variation. So it's less about it being a slower category. It's making sure that your criteria is dialed in so that you're buying the faster moving shoes, and the ones that you are buying that are slower moving, that you're buying the right criteria. There is, again, I hear the thing about concerned about capital, shoes tie up capital. Again, your buying criteria, ties up capital. Shoes don't tie up capital. It's your buying criteria. Dial in your buying criteria and your capital will move perfectly fine. Your IPI will be fine. And again, that's not to say there's not a place for slow moving shoes. Buying a $50 shoe that's going to sell for a $50 profit and takes 3 months to sell 3 of them. I don't got a problem with that. We don't do it that much, but it certainly works, and it certainly works for other people. But again, just understanding that, just the same reason when I would buy a 250K rank toy that I know has a high profit, and it's going to take me a while to move. And I think that's where people just have the problems, or misunderstanding how shoes work. Again, they're not slow. It's your criteria. All right.
And then for the Keepa chart, which charts use just the variation, and which ones use like all of the variations?
Okay. Yes.
Like how do you know it's just size 12 red?
Yes. I went through that very quickly. So let me spend a little bit more time analyzing Keepa instead of that rapid pace, assuming everybody knows Keepa like me. So 2 charts up here. 3 charts. I forgot they added this 3rd chart that I've pretty much ignored. Okay, a couple things. If you happen to have only 2 charts, down here, more historic data, it brings down this. This here is the top chart. What it's showing you on the blue line is the price, and the pink is when there was a buy box. So we know that it does not have a buy box. We're pretty certain at these higher prices it's not having a buy box. We may have to go down to $35 to get the buy box. Let's see if we can see here. This guy was priced, it looks at $35. The rank is at the parent level. The parent is all 180 variations here. And not all variations are created equal. This red is not selling as fast as the black and the black and white and the white. It's just not. It may be moving, and I believe it is, but it's not moving as fast as some of these other colors. Some of these other things, again, they're going to be moving slower. This one I would assume would be a slower moving. Again, some things that are ugly to me may be fantastic to other people, and there's a lot of different people that will buy stuff. But again, the sales rank is the sales rank and the price. Okay, the sales rank is at the parent level. The price is at the variation level. So again, we're looking at size 12, University Red Black. That is that price. The rank is at the parent level. I don't know what the hell this little thing is here. I guess this gives you the
subcategories.
Subcategory. I don't really use that, but you can. And then this is the offer at the variation level, at the size 12, this red and gold item. This is it. So this is how I try to analyze. Okay, it's going up and down. It's moving. I think it's selling. It's good. You can even see here. It had 4 sellers. It went down. We went completely out of stock for a while, then came back. That's how I analyze Keepa. A couple things you can do. You can move the different time frames around. You can see some data. Again, this was at $25, but with Amazon, you can see how quickly they would go in and out of stock. So they were moving things quickly. Now, of course, they could have only had a couple, a few pairs. We don't know, but again, seeing that to me shows, okay, Amazon's having trouble staying in stock. Even if I was buying this now at $18.75 and seeing that, I wouldn't be scared. If anything, I like that I see Amazon going in and out of stock because it shows me it's moving, and I'll just wait out the people. I'll wait out Amazon. I'll wait out the jackasses that you'll get nervous and have to follow down or set their mins at 20% ROIs, and I'll wait out and sell this for a premium. So you can also sort of hold down your mouse and go that way, and it'll give you a deeper dive. You can sort of analyze a period, a particular period. you can click on, you've probably seen me do this, but you can click on the dot and it'll tell you, what they were selling it at, who was selling it. It used to tell the quantity. It doesn't do that anymore. Maybe you got to go somewhere else for that. I don't know. But, you can, it helpful for, let me get out of this view. I think it was this guy, is FBM, and it says he's really selling it for closer to $30. Okay, so FBM looks like it might be averaging this out. Let's see. Okay, so 21 and 29. So it'll give you like the full price there, what they were selling it at, and who was selling it, that type of stuff, their reviews.
Ooh, they only had a 77% rating.
Yeah.
Probably
they're an MF.
a drop shipper. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're just MFing, it can be you can end up with a little lower feedback because it can end up with more negative reviews. And you can't get removed because fulfilled by Amazon.
Oh yeah. Royce posted a screenshot of an extended variation view. I'm guessing that's from AZ Insight. I'm not sure, but it actually looked pretty good. It even showed the red had some sales. And then, how do you know when a new variation is added to a listing? Like, is there a way that you could tell if someone added red? Not really, huh?
No, but like, for instance, on Hibbett, we found, I don't know if it's still here. It might be out of stock, but there was a, let's see if I can find it. Red. It's out of stock, but there's a version of this that was black and red, and it was called Challenge Red. It's not here. Now, this is not adding a variation, but it sort of will get you at the same thing. So, and let me see. I can even... one second. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, this one, again, maybe out of stock now. Yeah, completely out of stock. Thanks, guys. Didn't even leave me any. This black and red, I posted this today into the group. And this one, again, selling for $18.75. And it's not on Amazon. So, how did I find it? Well, I went into the variation viewer and I looked for challenge red. It's slow. It's not an easy process to find stuff, but I take my time and try to find good things versus just going quick and finding crap. So okay, black challenge red is what I'm looking for. Completely out of stock. So a couple things that we can do. One, I need to validate that it's actually the same damn thing. So the first thing I do is I copy this ASIN, and you can just sort of hit that, and then I go to Amazon, or not Amazon, I don't know why I'm doing it that way. That's not what I did. I go like this, and I search it on Google. And if anybody has any better way to do this, let me know. But what I do is I go down to images, and I see, and usually I can see on the other Amazon sites that it match it. Because if I hover over here, it's going to show me the wrong color, I'm pretty sure. I think I'm lagging because of this, so I can't. But if you do that when you're not lagging, it will give me the wrong picture. You can go to Keepa, and it's going to give me the wrong picture because it's out of stock. I don't know why it does that. This is just the way the way now, this is a good thing that if you did buy this, you should always check your restrictions because maybe it's completely out of stock because it's restricted. Let's see if I'm restricted. Yes, shit. So this is bad. Again, this is something I should have did beforehand, and anybody that bought it should do beforehand. Is don't assume with Nike and Amazon that just because you can sell one color, you can sell the other color. And what worried me about that was just seeing, okay, there's only Amazon in here, no history. But again, that's how you can find the color by trying to find it, and then again, you gotta Keep is going to give you the wrong color. Even at a product, it's going to give you.
And then, how come some their variations have different Keepa charts? Since they all share the same sales rank.
So
I don't think they do share the same sales rank, don't they? It's just the way Keepa does it because they can't separate it.
So let's go to the black 12 here. Again, and we can see the difference of, and again, I don't think this is bringing in all the reviews, but you can see this has got a bunch of reviews. It's also got a lot more sellers, but whatnot. But yeah, you can look on this chart here and see some crazy ass stuff happening here. So again, the rank here should be the same. It's just the fact that the price chart's different and the offer chart's different. And you can see, again, this chart shows me this is flying. Again, I know that from the rank, but the offers, constantly up, down, up, down. Now, the concern part is it is trending up, and you would expect the price to be trending down a little bit. The good thing is the price, as long as Amazon's not hanging around at $18.75, these are selling, at $40 or whatever. So if you can find a decent price on these, might be, worth buying. Again, the concern is offers going up, Amazon getting some stock. Again, from the history of this thing, you can see Amazon, well, you can see they used to have a history before COVID of stocking this, and now they're having some supply chain issues, and you can take advantage of this, but you got to be careful you go deep, because if you go deep, you may be selling this for $19.99, $18.75 when Amazon comes in stock. So, and again, you can see they're getting there, and a lot of things I'm seeing Amazon starting to catch in. So you just have to weigh that risk as you're gambling with something like this. Now, if it sells it for $18.75 and you bought it for $18.75, you're losing $7 a pop, with the potential to actually make $11 a pop. So $12 a pop. But once you get all that other stuff down, so. But yeah, so the only thing that the Keepa is going to be different. It's going to have the same sales rank, but everything else is going to be different.
And do you consider the review rating? Though I think they mean the rating. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, like percentage, right? Like I don't worry too much about that, but it is again something that I will glance at, and if I see it's a something that's under 3 point, 2 point stars or whatever, I will take a look at the reviews and see what it is. That's where I might a closer look at the Keepa chart, and I'll analyze what those reasons are. I mean, a lot of times it could be overpriced stuff that doesn't concern me as much. It's a little bit more concerning now that price gouging is a thing, but I haven't had any issues with price gouging besides jackasses emailing me and complaining about it, but I haven't had any Amazon issues on my account yet on price gouging related to shoes.
And then do you do 30-day and 90-day average, or just current?
As it relates to pricing?
Probably buying.
I just look at Keepa. I will glance at it, but I don't stress out about those numbers. I look at Keepa. My decisions are made on Keepa, and I'm not looking at a specific, this was the 30-day price or the 90-day price, because, if I was buying this on this day, and actually let me go back a little bit. If I was buying this here, the 30-day or the whatever, if I was buying this here, the 90-day price would be friggin' horrendous because Amazon was on stock for $18. But I know based on Keepa, it's selling $50. There's 3 sellers. It's friggin' flying. I'm going to make a gamble that I'm going to be able to sell it for $40 plus and make money before Amazon comes back, especially knowing, the current issues with supply chain and everything with the COVID situation. So yeah, I honestly don't even really look at it very often. I'm more interested in what Keep is telling me.
And then do you have any preferred brands? And are most of your sales when the buy box is suppressed or when there is a buy box?
That's a good question.
Is it still fast when it's suppressed? Yeah, it's a little slower when it's suppressed, but it's still.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question because I'm going to have a very different answer than I did pre-COVID. So what was the first question before that? There was something.
Oh, like preferred brands.
Yeah, I mean, I sell a lot of Nike. Let's see. I mean, I sell a lot of Nike for sure. I sell a lot of Adidas. In the past month, we've sold almost 1,400 different Nike SKUs in the past month. So those are like unique SKUs, and then of course some of them I've sold, 300, 200, 500 Nikes per SKU or whatever. But yeah, our past 1 month revenue on Nike is $1.3 million on just Nike alone in the past 30 days. So we move a lot of Nike. We did a little over, our running total for shoes itself is a little over 1.5 million in the past 30 days. So we're not just moving Nikes, but we are moving a lot of Nikes. We sell a lot of other products. We're not just shoes, but needless to say, we are moving a lot of Nike, and right now Nike makes up a lot of our revenue. Pre-COVID, we weren't doing as much as Nike because one of our, some of our biggest places we sourced that online didn't even carry Nike. But since the COVID situation and since supply chains have had issues, we've really went hard into Nike, and it's definitely a brand that we are focusing a lot on. If I look at something like Adidas, God, what do we have on that one? 53K in Adidas. So not anywhere near 44K on Vans. That was another brand that we sell. Converse. I don't think we do a lot of Converse. Oh, actually, Converse is our biggest out of those is 56K in Converse. So look at that. Who knew? And
then sometimes you're forced. Like I see Amazon's on Reebok a lot.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of Reebok.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, we sell a lot of Nike. Outside, like I do like Merrell and Keen and some of those like hiking boots and stuff. It's just not that type of season. Right now, we're doing a lot of sandals, and the Nike sandals do well. Adidas sandals do okay, but again, you got to deal with more Amazon and whatnot. Okay, so sorry, yeah. I didn't address the suppressed versus the not suppressed. So that's an excellent question. So pre-COVID, we actually had our repricer set up that if there was no buy box, that our repricer would price down until we got a buy box, because we felt very confident that we needed to get a buy box. Like we wanted to sell these, we were buying stuff lower than MSRP to sell at to sell above MSRP, get the buy box, and we would turn that on for every single shoe that we bought. We would force our repricer down to get the repricing. And hey, I thought it was awesome. We had this repricer that would get the buy box when we needed it. With COVID, the supply chain got screwed up. Also, a lot of people just couldn't, weren't sourcing. They were taking breaks. They were whatever. They weren't shopping. Um, so so we had an advantage that we were still shopping hard. People had a fear of shoes in general. Hey, nobody's going to buy shoes. It's not an essential item. We need to buy, essential item. Um, so when everything was shut down, we were MFing shoes. You know, again, we sell right now. We're selling, I don't know, 1,000 to 1,200 shoes per day right now. We were MFing, 100 pairs back when this first started, as we got shut down of FBAing stuff. So that was a lot for some people, but it wasn't a huge amount for us. But just MFing that amount was pretty big for us. And then they started to open things up, and then we really hit shoes hard, in particular because again, a lot of people thought you couldn't send shoes. The shoe category was closed. Nobody can send it, or if you can, you can't send that many, or who cares? What am I going to do? There's only 5 shoes I can send, and they can only send 3 each. Well, we were sending 300, 400 per size, 200 per size, when nobody else was. So we really were ramping up. And again, the prices were going up, and not a lot of people were selling it. So we found that, hey, we need people. The buyers are getting smart because Amazon keeps suppressing stuff, and they know they want this stuff, so they're going to buy it. So we've taken a very different stance than we in the past, which again I know is another long-winded probably a simple question, but we are not fighting for buy box anymore. We are finding things that are flying. We are selling things where we're selling 50 per size per month with no suppressed buy box at premium prices. I'm not sure what the future is going to hold, as things start to normalize a little bit more. But right now, I am not pushing back for suppressed buy box. I'm not overly concerned about not having a buy box. It is something that I look at when I'm sourcing, and it may change the quantity that I'm buying if I feel that I have to go to a unprofitable price to get the buy box back. But again, something like this, I'm confident it is, let me move this out. This not getting a lot of buy box, essentially this is telling me you probably need to be at $39, $40 to get the buy box, which is still great, still good profit at $40. But this is, again, it's flying. Like this is selling, 50 to 100. This shoe is probably selling 50 to 100 per day. Not you individually with 21 other sellers, but you can sell a boatload of these probably. Again, if Amazon doesn't come back and not a lot of other people come on, and you can manage to compete for the price and whatnot compared to other people. One thing you got to keep in mind with suppressed buy boxes is, do you have reviews? Are you are you a newer seller with not a lot of reviews going up against people with boatloads of reviews? I'm a big believer that your store name matters. If your name is whatever, the toy guy, and you're selling Nike shoes, well, you're going to turn buyers off. Again, it's not going to affect everybody, especially if there's not a lot of choices. But if there's 23 sellers, and there's the toy guy, and then there's the shoe guy. Well, I'm going to pick the shoe guy, not the toy guy. All other things equal. So I do think having a name that's not going to pigeonhole you to a category that you don't fully sell in is a good idea. And again, selling a suppressed buy box has different drivers that you need to keep in mind to make sure that you're still getting a sale while being priced with some of the bigger guys that may have more reviews and may, and again, at the end of the day, I don't think like reviews make a huge, and particularly it's not, you need to be over 90%, I feel like, and, having, multiple reviews is going to help you. Having 10 reviews and 75% is definitely not going to inspire confidence from other people.
Oh, and how do you use how many to tie into all this?
Okay, good question. Let's go back to this one. So here I'm going to go in. Hold on. Not what I wanted to do. Let's see. See if I can get it. It's not populating the how many part right now because of, okay. So with how many, they have this thing called the offer listing page, and it takes you back to where you used to go when you could collect it, or select this button. And then there's only a couple sellers on here. Probably everybody's seeing this damn Chicago's on there and avoids it. But how many is this button, and it's going to tell me how much each person has. While that's loading, I'm going to do an oldie but goodie here, the Batcopter. Just I wanted to grab one that I knew Amazon was on that I could show sort of the limit buster of it. I used to be a big critic of how many, because I said, what's the point? You're telling me it has one, but I know Amazon doesn't have one. He just has a limit of one right now. Now, the back orders does occasionally get things screwed up, so maybe this one's not a good example since it's low. So let's see. What's another good? Just find some damn thing here that has it. Okay, Hot Wheels track. See if this is a better one. The back order thing doesn't always work, but okay, come on. Well, I can never find one that, so how many's putting that 347 there compared to when it's there? But I do like to be able to like hit the limit buster. Yeah, now of course the limit buster is not working anyway and making me look like a how many? Let's see. I'll try one more here and see if it'll actually do what I want it to do. Come on. Give me one with a limit here. Okay, so how many's having some trouble here today anyway? But so this said they had 99 in stock, 99 plus. When you hit that button, it usually will give you more to it. Again, how many's having a problem, or maybe my lagging with, the Zoom on and recording and 22 people on here, I'm not sure. But, I use it there. And again, right here, and again, there's not, let me go to another size. I think size 12 had more people. I do not use their estimated data. I have never found anybody that is good at estimating how many things sell. Like this is telling you that it's going to sell estimated monthly sales 267 times. Now again, I think that's trying to tell you, I don't know what that's trying to tell you. Is that trying to tell you at the parent level? I think that's telling you at the parent level it's selling 267 items, and if so, that couldn't be farther from the truth.
And the 30-day sell price hasn't been over 65 ever. Oh, maybe once back in April 23rd. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't look at that data. Again, I've never found anybody that's good at estimating sales, and I just do it myself. But again, it'll show me, okay, this guy's got 128. This one's got one. This has got one. He's got one. The limit buster, again, something's not working. But sometimes if people have a limit on their store and it's limited to 5, when this is working, and all the time that I've used how many, I've never seen this actually happen. But it'll tell you how many they actually have. So it'll break that limit, but they're trying to hide what they have by saying they only have 5. You hit that limit buster, and it'll tell you exactly how many.
And it's not just you; it's happening with other people too.
Yeah, something's up with it. Okay.
And then, if one variation sells for a lot less, does that bother you?
It depends what Keepa tells me. I'm going to say that for pretty much everything, but like for me, I'm looking at the individual Keepa chart for every item I'm buying. I'm not buying, you know, again, I'm a slow buyer. That being said, I think I spent almost 400K in OA last month or whatever, but I'm a slow when analyzing a buy. I am not trying to see how quickly I can buy something. I am analyzing the charts for each one, and I'm making sure. That being said, yeah, I'm going to look, and if I see that, if I'm sorting by that university red, and I see everyone is selling for $39.90, or actually everyone's selling for $24.99, and I'm trying to sell this one for $50, I am going to be skeptical. Now, again, I'm going to look at Keepa and say what Keepa tells me, but I do take a gander to say, okay, what is sort of the average selling price? But these are a bunch of selling for 39, and this one's selling for 54. This will sell for 54. Look, it's selling for 50. At very least, these things are selling for $48-$50, and you're going to tell me why the hell is anybody buying a cheap ass sandal for $50? I don't have a freaking clue. People have too much money to spend. Got me, but it happens. We do it all day of selling these things like this for insane prices. So I don't stress out too much about it, as long as Keepa tells me it looks like it's good. But again, I would also look and say, okay, let me look at the low price and see why are they low? Is it because Amazon's driving down the price? Is Chicago driving down the price? Is it somebody else that just hopped on something that's hopped on all the other sizes, and maybe he's going to hop on my size? Again, it's analyzing the data that we do from an OA perspective, especially like when I say we, at least my team and myself do, that it's hard to do, from an RA perspective. And again, that's why when somebody says I don't buy, it takes me too long to analyze it. I don't think you can really spend too much time analyzing this stuff. You should take your time and get it, because again, if you find a good shoe, you're going to invest a decent amount of money into it, and you want to make sure it's right. So, especially from OA, again, from an RA perspective, you've got to take a different approach. You don't want to be sitting in the store spending 10, 15 minutes analyzing each shoe you pick up. You got to go for speed, and you got to sort of tweak the categories. But again, this is an OA group and how we analyze OA. And again, it's just the way I do it. Again, I know other people have different models, but I take my time and analyze it.
Somebody wants to know who Shoe Cargo is.
I don't know, but he loves to use the penny repricer. So you either gotta join them and let it tank, or you avoid them, or you wait until he sells out. And of course, one of these, I think on size 13, he had 60 some of these. So I sometimes will set my repricer to be 2 cents above him, and I'll still get my fair share of buy box and get my sales, and then he'll sell out. And it also depends. Sometimes I'll wait him out. It just depends. But again, sometimes I just tank the price with him, because hoping someday that'll get him to change his ways. But nope, he's a penny pricer down, and it's I will sometimes avoid something like this where I see he's got 68 of them already selling it at a little lower price than I would be targeting.
You can move on.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so a couple other things that I didn't cover here. We talked about velocity. We talked about variations, take time to review, sizes. Okay, what sizes do I buy? So, men's, I like 9 through 12 as my ones that we focus on. Women's, I like 7 through 10 that we focus on. That being said, I sell boatloads of men's 7s, 8s, 13s, 14s, 15s, and whatnot. Anybody guess how I decide what sizes I buy?
Not by rank.
Look at a Keepa. So again, I used to always say I'm not going to buy a men's size 7. I'm not going to buy a women's size 5 because those are not fast movers. Well, guess what? They're also not always supplied very often. And guess what? People like to buy them. And look, lots of times you can sell them at a premium. size 7, selling for $47. Low, and again, the higher sizes is the same way. Size 14. Now again, this one's not doing great, and it's tanked down because it is going to move at a slower velocity. Size men's 9, 10, 11, 12. They're going to be moving the fastest, and you can see that. Again, it's far from perfect. And of course, here we go. Size 8 is the most ranked shoe to show me up as wrong. And again, these slides, the slides can sell better at lower sides because these are like, a cool thing to high school kids, the kids to wear nowadays. Back in my day, it was not cool to wear them with socks, but I think you can get away with it now. I think it's,
I think women buy men's sizes and stuff too.
And kids.
Sandals.
So, and again, that's where, again, looking at the data and saying, hey, size 7 actually sells. Again, I would not say size 7 sells better than size 12 because it has more reviews. That is not at all accurate. But the reviews at least showing that the 7s are moving. So, so from a sizing perspective, again, I will focus in on size, those sizes I mentioned, but I will go. I will pick other sizes again if Keepa says it's good. Okay. I think that. Okay, so I think that was the big areas that I was going to cover there. From sort of the velocity, the Keepa, and stuff. I'm going to just talk through some general points here. Let's see. My OA, I have a team. I have one RA buyer left at this point in time. We used to have, at some point we might have had 5 or 6 buyers.
Oh, wow.
But when we slowly, before COVID, we were down to having one supervisor that did OA, and then I had 3 RA buyers. When COVID happened, wait, I did that wrong, right? Let's see. No, that's right. Yes. 3 RA buyers and one supervisor that managed them and did OA. When the COVID thing hit, I shifted them all to OA. One of them really took it, and she does not want to go back in stores, and that's okay. She was spending 30, 40K in RA. She's spent, I don't know, 50K this weekend, something like that, doing OA for me. So she's staying in OA. My one RA buyer, we've again, I'm moving away from RA, and we've decided to move on as we're shifting out of RA. And then I had one RA person that she goes out very part-time, and she's still going to go RA for me. So then I have my OA supervisor, the new OA person, and then I hired another OA buyer as well. So now I have 3 OA buyers. We do 100% validation for OA buyers. Again, partly just managing the quantity, because they may find something that we've already bought, 10 per size or 50 per size or whatever we bought, and we don't want them buying it, and they don't have access to all the data. So they send the buys to us we use Slack, and we validate that. And again, if you haven't noticed, I preach being slower and making decisions, and then once we find the good stuff, buying the hell out of that instead of trying to find as many leads that I can that I'm going to buy onesie twosies of. So this was a question that came up of how I tell my buyers what to buy. Well, I tell them. They ask me if it's good, and we validate it. Again, I have somebody that's been with me that I've promoted to lead my buyers, and she has full authority to make those decisions. If it's something that, hey, we might want to buy 30, she may loop me in or whatnot. But ultimately, she has the authority to, and the knowledge and the keep knowledge that I'd like her to have to be able to make the decisions on quantity. My RA buyer, she's going to be buying less and does not do 100% validation. But if she does find stuff that has large quantities, she will be expected to validate that with us. before she buys it. You know, I don't want her buying 10 of a size without validating it. Again, takes more time, but that's the approach we do to try to keep our, you know, our IPI down, to keep our, you know, turning. Again, one of the questions was capital, and, you know, shoes are slow, and how do you, you know, move, you know, how do you do it? You know, again, for us, I don't, you know, you know, we've moved in the past month, we've moved 25,000 units of shoes, and we have 16,000 on hand. You know, we're moving more than we have on, like, we're not holding stuff. We're not buying stuff and, you know, buying thousands of SKUs that are, you know, we're buying stuff and it's selling. So, so we take more time analyzing it, but we want to make sure that the data is, that we're making the right decision.
And someone asked about how you pay the RA and then OA people.
We, you know, our RA, we do a percentage of profit plus hourly at this point in time. The hourly rate sort of around minimum wage of the person's location. You know, when we went big in RA, we set up a process that we had three shoppers that covered our local area. Then I hired somebody that was like 90 minutes out, and they would drop off once a week, and they would cover areas that my local buyers couldn't get. Then we said, okay, well, how do we continue to expand? Then we started to hit remote shoppers. So this person, you know, I'm in Jersey, so I hired somebody to, so I was in Jersey, I had 3 people covering there. Then I hired somebody to cover Philadelphia. I hired somebody to cover North Jersey. I hired somebody to cover Delaware. I hired somebody to cover Atlanta. I hired somebody to cover Tennessee. I hired somebody to cover Orlando. And I don't even know how many shoppers we had at some point. But it, we did percentage, you know, so their hourly rate varied based on their location. The remote shoppers would have to ship to me, and obviously we had to take that into account. So we try to get their hourly wage down a little bit, and then they got 7% of profit. Right now we're doing 5% of buy cost for our OA buyers, and then they got to keep the portals. The store perks are supposed to be for us. Again, I don't have a way to monitor that, though our OA buyers are, you know, supposed to give us their login information for each of their accounts. In case we ever have an issue, we can pull out the information. But again, it's not to say I have the ability or time to want to be making sure they are utilizing the store earned rewards back on inventory. But they're supposed to use the store earned rewards on inventory. They keep the cash back they earn, and then they get 5% from me.
And then how did you find like remote shoppers? A lot of them are just from the groups, huh?
Well,
like your Tennessee people and stuff.
Yeah, so most of my shoppers came from Indeed. At least the remote shoppers we hired via Indeed. You know, posted listings and did thorough interviews.
Oh, okay. I thought they were from groups like ex-sellers and stuff.
No. I did bring on a OA buyer that I knew from, you know, Facebook, but I had one shopper that's no longer with me that I did get from like a group that he was semi-local and was looking for a position. But yeah, most of my hires have been, you know, our local guys were more like Facebook people, referral people, like local friends, or posting, sometimes trying to hire people. We'll post in like my local town group and saying, hey, our company's hiring, you know, doing this. And it's a lot of people, it's easy to get a lot of people interested. Doesn't mean they're going to be good at it. But we did Indeed for hiring shoppers.
All right, you're caught up.
Awesome. Let's see. Okay, so customer returns. Returns make up, you know, 10 to 15% of our business. Let me see. I don't know if I can find a good report to pull up, but I think last year I was like 12 to 15%. I think it was closer to 15%, unfortunately, with shoes. And we're talking a lot about shoes. Obviously, I also sell a lot of clothes. I think we sold more clothes than shoes last year, but clothes can be more like 8%. So how I deal with that? There's a couple things. One, I factor it in. I want higher ROI. I want higher profit when I'm making a decision. If I'm selling a toy or a beauty product that I know is going to sell and going to have 2 to 5% return rate, I may take 30% ROI, especially if I'm going to move 50 a day. No problem. But when I'm looking at a shoe, and I know I might have 12% return rate or 15% return rate, I just want that higher profit or ROI in there. Then how do I deal with all these damn returns? The first thing we do is we, Amazon has to, there's no way around it really. So we have to rely on Amazon making their decisions. Let me see if I can find this post real quick. I had a post on returns that covered this. I don't know if I added the link. Hopefully I did. Perfect. Let's see. Some insights on returns. 2019. Let's see. Okay, so of the 16,000 returns we had, 72% was deemed sellable by Amazon. So those are going right back to sellable. Now, of course, unfortunately, some of that 72% is not really sellable, and they're going to be returned again. But let's just forget that part and say, okay, at least 72% of those returns are going back. So at 16.5 now, 12,000 almost is going right back to Amazon. So that only leaves 4,700 units that return back to us. Out of those 4,765 units returned back to us, 45% of those we reviewed and we're able to go right back to Amazon as new. So again, at this point, we're now looking at about 2,000 shoes that return, and that's just shoes. These are units. I'm trying to see where it is. But then when you take that 2,500 and you look at the 260K units that we sold, it's 0.99% of total sold units comes back to me as not sold. The whole point that I'm trying to get at with this sort of dive here of going through those returns is shoe returns suck, but a lot of them don't come back to me. And again, I think that wasn't just shoes; that was everything. Again, we do a lot of shoes and clothes, but we do other stuff. But again, 72% of the items that were deemed returned went right back to sellable. Because for shoes, they try it, it doesn't fit, it comes back, it goes back. Again, there's a fee, there's a cost for that with Amazon, and you need to factor that in. And that's why, I don't want to go below 50% ROI. I don't want to go below $12 profit because I know those fees hurt. But again, if you plan accordingly, 72% of them are going to be sellable. Then when the 28% that aren't sellable, another 45% of that is going to go back to Amazon as new anyway. And then when you're left, with that chunk that you can't sell anymore, which again was 1%, I have an eBay guy who I pay, he buys them for 30% of the cost. So I'm losing, 70% of my cost on that subset, but I'm still getting some money back. I'm moving it. They're not taking out my warehouse. And, it's a small loss if you're averaging, a decent ROI on the shoes. Our running total, last in, what was it? May our ROI on shoes was 80%, which again, another misnomer that, I hear a lot is you can't scale your business and keep high ROIs. Again, we are doing 7 figures of shoes per month, and your ROI is 80%. We're dripping down a little bit now. We're at 73% or whatever. But you don't need to be at low ROIs to scale your business. You just need to make appropriate decisions. So getting a little off topic there, but again, from a customer return perspective, it's just important to to understand it. A lot of people are scared of the 15% return rate. A lot of people just get so tired of seeing those return emails, or so tired of seeing those. There's so much money that can be made selling these things if you can figure out how to read Keepa, make the right decisions, and realize how to manage those returns. And again, you want to have processes in place. There was times when, I would just get my returns back and I wouldn't touch them. And when you actually touch them, 45% can go back, especially for clothing. You're getting clothes that they're coming back because they're not in the poly bag anymore. Throw them in a poly bag and ship them out and sell them. And then again, having a way to move the product, that isn't sellable. And, I know I'm giving away money because I could sell them on Mercari for 60, 70%, of my cost, or 150% of my cost in some cases. But I do not have the space in my warehouse. I have, we're moving a lot of volume, and I have a 2,500 square foot warehouse. I actually have a 900 square foot warehouse, and I have 1,500 units of office space. But I don't have the time to sit there, and I don't have the space to set up a whole eBay return and hire people. So I got a guy, he comes pick up the boxes, right, pays me 30% of cost, and they're out of there. And that works for me. Again, it's important to make sure you have a process. And again, that's one of the things where people try to scale that they fail is they do that themselves on eBay. Well, then if you're gonna keep scaling, you can't keep, doing that. You need to come up with another process, and you need to give away some money just to get them out of your hair. So, any questions on returns?
Nope.
Let's see. Customer returns, we just talked about that. Some stores with limits. Somebody asked about like stores and limits. I don't know. I just threw some down there. Kohl's, I think everybody knows, can cancel or ban. We've done some insane orders in Q4 and haven't had issues. They seem to like relax a little bit in Q4 and then get a little annoying outside of Q4. Plenty of people have been banned, so you got to be careful there. REI, I'm banned from REI. Shoe Carnival, a lot of my buyers have been banned from there at some point in time. You got to buy low and, hope you don't have issue. Hibbett, I know in the past has banned. I've done some decent size orders without issues. I don't know anybody else. Olympia is known to impose a $3 reseller fee. So, per unit, not, so just be careful. STP doesn't care. Certain stores don't care. And those are ones that, you can go nuts on. Sierra doesn't care. Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't seem to care. Walmart doesn't care. Target cares, whatnot. Sourcing capital. Again, to me, it's a misnomer that you need extra money for shoes. You need extra money for shoes if you're going to use a buying criteria that turns it into slow-moving shoes. Just like you would need more criteria if you were buying toys in the 250,000, 200,000 to 500,000 range. You don't need more. You don't need any more money for shoes than you need for any other category if you actually map up your buying criteria. But most people don't know how to do that because they don't understand the variations, and it ends up requiring you more. Now again, you may need more if your strategy is to buy slower moving stuff that that's going to take more time to sell but might have more profit. Then yes, you're going to need more capital. But if you're selling stuff, again, 25,000 units sold, 16,000 on hand. I'm not, I'm selling them fast. I'm not holding on to stuff, and that can allow, if you can turn your capital quicker and you don't need as much. Again, if you have a different approach, then you're going to need more capital. I have daily payouts, so I am, very lucky with that. When I started this, I had a high-paying job that funded, this, and I also could have 100% reinvest everything, so that enabled me to grow where I am, whereas other people may not have had that advantage. But I had a very nice corporate job that allowed me to fund this fun little side project that I did at night and in the morning. So I have taken Amazon loans. You know, we're now becoming not as seasonal seller, but we still sell a lot more in Q4. And sometimes when we're ramping up, we would need to take a loan. We took Amazon loan the first year. We really did a lot of like Halloween and seasonal wholesale. And then we got a line of credit with a bank. We have like a $400K line of credit that we will tap into a few times. I think last year I probably tapped into it for no more than a couple weeks. But again, it does become a time where if, you know, I'm typically spending, you know, $700,000 a month, and now all of a sudden I'm going to spend 150,000 or 1.5 million in a month, it can start to squeeze, and I will, you know, tap into my line of credit when I need to. But, you know, again, I haven't done it. You know, I haven't done it since Q4 of last year, and, you know, again, I did it for a few weeks. Usually, we just try to turn quickly, but we don't try to turn quickly at the cost of ROI. We want, you know, our ROI at a decent level, and we don't, you know, do the turn and burn thing no matter what. Let's sell at a lower ROI. We will wait things out when we need to. Repricing strategy, again, that sort of covers sort of the same thing of, again, I'm not a turn and burn. We each buy. Now that I used to have our mins set based on store when we were doing, you know, for our RA buys at Marshalls and BCF that I know are going to be onesie twosies, and I don't want to spend a lot of time managing. I'm going to set my ROIs low so I don't have to deal with it. When it's a store like Kibit that I'm buying bulk, you know, I'm going to set my mins, you know, 50% ROI, 60% ROI. There was a good port, you know, during the initial stages of COVID that our minimum ROI that we would put down for the mins were 70%. We wouldn't even buy anything if it had to go. We were rarely buying things that would fall below that, just because you know, there was so much opportunity. That window has closed a little bit with you know, as stores are opening up and whatnot. But right now we've changed our process that every OA buy, and again, that's most of where our inventory is coming from outside of wholesale. And again, wholesale is sort of the same way. We're setting up the mins and the maxes as we buy it at an item level, so that we're, again, trying to dial in what we're doing. And you know, again, when we fall out of, you know, the price, then we analyze whether we need to price down or hold. And again, I'm not opposed to holding and whatnot. And, you know, you get, obviously this group, you know, started as an Amazon flip group, at least those of you from the Amazon flip group, and now we've, you know, switched a little bit to an OA group. But again, I do a lot of Amazon flips, and those you have to wait. But again, it's a matter of mixing your inventory. You know, you don't want to have 75% of your inventory that you're holding for 3 months waiting for. But if you have 10% of your inventory that you're hoping for higher ROIs, and those you can wait on, and the other ones you move faster, and you afford to wait for it. So I do pay $500 a month for my repricer. You know, it is Seller Snap, and it is pretty fantastic. It's a AI repricing tool that, you know, makes decisions based off of, you know, it's not a rule-based repricer. It's more of, you know, using artificial intelligence to decide, okay, this person does not have a repricer. Their minimum is at $50. Let's reprice down to $49.50, and we can take advantage of the fact that he doesn't have a repricer. And this guy has Be Cool, and he's got a rule-based, you know, repricer. So let's play with him a little bit, and, you know, go down, see where his min is, go up. Like it's changing every few minutes, and just, you know, moving up and down and trying to extrapolate the profitability, you know, the profit for us. Expensive, but, you know, and a bit complex. And I even admit complex, but the interface just sucks in my opinion. But we do our repricing on spreadsheets anyway, and it doesn't bother us because we don't really use the interface. But for other people, it could be a nightmare if you're not good with Excel or Google Sheets or whatnot. Okay, I'm going to take a break. That is everything that I had on my agenda that just was on my general agenda and all the questions that came in to me beforehand. Any other questions anybody has?
Yeah, there's two. One is, where do you put your min-max? Or when you set your min-max at time of buy, where you enter in this, your repricer rate?
We're entering it in our buying sheet. So again, I have a bit complex system based on the way I've scaled. So as I've scaled, I have outsourced, like my whole back end, like my repricing is done by my, director of, or whatever I call her. I think she's operations or whatever, but she does all my back end stuff. So I put it on my buy sheet, the min and max price. She's like a guru, an Excel guru, and she pull it, it comes off of that report and goes, syncs up with the repricing, so that when she runs the repricing, she has we're using all Excel, like Excel or Google. So she has, again, like when we do repricing, anything that comes in, the first thing we do is we take all those ASINs and we download the Keepa data. Again, I'm obsessed with Keepa. We pull out all the Keepa data and we use that to sort of see, what are some of the prices and help make sure that it makes sense. But she then has the mins and maxes that we entered when we bought the item right on her repricing sheet. And then before she actually configures it, she has, alerts or flags on the spreadsheet that'll say, hey, your min is this, but you're below the min. Are you sure about that? And then she analyzes that, and then she'll Slack me a message of, hey, this. Well, she'll either Slack me a message or she'll code them with a tag that then I can go into the repricer and manually review it. So that, again, she's doing the heavy lifting. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to get her trained that she can be the brains and make all the decisions for repricing, so that I can do what I like to do and what I do well, which is the buying aspect of it.
And then how do you handle your SKUs for repurchase, replan, and your repricer?
So for replans, we, again, my data person, again, ops person, whatever you want to call her, each day she's pulling down our orders and she's running me a report that shows me all the items that we sold. And then it also has all of, one second, let me pull something up here. Let's see, here. One second, I'll just try to bring something up here that can help show this. Data person brings this in daily. I think our VA, so she has a VA on her team that she manages. I think we're going to be hiring another one that she manages. And that between the two of them, they do this. So I put up this will bring up every ASIN. I'm not going to show you all my ASINs. I filtered this one because this is a Pokemon graduation stuffed Pokemon. So everybody wants to go to Pokemon Center or wherever we got this and buy it. You go right ahead. Just be careful. Keepa may lie to you because it may look good, but it may not be so good anymore. So we pull in the data and it shows, okay, how many have we sold in the last 7 days? How many we sold in the last 30 days? What's our average selling price? Our goal in stock. I will, at times when I'm trying to buy a replan stock for 60 days, again, you need to check your capital situation because that is probably higher than normal. Again, I'm turning things fast. I'm not, we're cash flush right now as the business, and it's not something that I'm overly concerned with, so I do 60 days. If I needed to be a little bit more conservative, I would do less. Also, right now with the supply chain issue, and I feel a little bit more confident going deeper. And again, it's just an estimate. Sometimes I'll buy less, sometimes I'll buy more. But it looks at our estimated backlog, which is our backlog of units at our warehouse or prep center, because we know exactly where our items are and whatnot. Again, this is more complex than I'm sure most of you guys will need, but ultimately it shows, okay, this is how many are on Amazon, this is how many we sold, how many do we need to buy. and that's and that the data that this is coming from, you know, the Amazon data is coming from, you know, they're all coming from various reports that we pull down and put in separate tabs or separate reports, and it comes on this pretty sheet that my data person gives to me, and I a lot of times spend my mornings, you know, looking through this and identifying things that I'm going to buy or things that I may give to my buyers to buy. Was there something, I know that was a replen, I don't know if I answered all those questions related to that, Steve. Was there anything else I missed?
The second part was, how do you leverage that into your repricing? I don't know if you covered that or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow that. Like, if it's, you know, repricing, if I have, my greatest weakness is probably repricing. I hate it. And I've been slow to let it go. I've got my data person working on it, but we're still transitioning it. But yeah, if we see something that's moving fast, you know, we are looking at that. We have different reports that show, you know, that are run, you know, weekly, monthly, and showing. And the things that are moving fast, we're constantly checking and saying, okay, are we, you know, giving up profit and can we reprice? But again, there are plenty of times we screw up and tank prices when we shouldn't. We follow Chicago down, you know, those type of things. But, you know, it's something we're working on every day, and that is definitely a weakness from me as a seller, as I hate repricing and have never been that great at it. But boatloads better where I am now, but it's definitely something we're trying to improve, because you can make a lot of money, you know, fixing your repricing and not just doing. I do not do the like reprice down my max every 30-day stuff that some people do or whatever. Like that I just that doesn't work for me. Like I understand why people do that, especially as you jack up your SKUs, but again, that's not the way we do it. We analyze it at a SKU level and make sure that we're making the right decisions at a SKU and not just going to reprice something down because it hasn't sold, whatnot. Now we do some. I should say that, hey, if something hasn't, I think we have some type of control in place that we're the only seller on the product. We haven't had any sales in 60 days. Let's lower our max. That we do, but we don't say, okay, we have, you know, let's lower the max or let's lower the min because something is X days old, you know, because that just doesn't, it doesn't work for us, especially when we're constantly replenishing certain things. So it sometimes can make things seem older than they really are and whatnot.
And how do you code the SKUs?
We code all our SKUs. So everything's, the suppliers you can see here is, you know, BD is the initial of the buyer. O is for OA. We code the store name into it. And then we also include price and ASIN. We used to include the purchase date, but it made some of the things too long. And again, when it just didn't really provide enough value. You know, I certainly like to code size into it, but again, you know, from a timing perspective, it doesn't make sense for bulk listing and whatnot. So we just have, you know, this what you see right here as the supplier, that supplier, and then cost and ASIN in there. And you know, we replenish. So if we bought this thing for it doesn't have the SKU in there, but you know, if we bought this for $15 and then we had to buy it for $19, we're not going to list it on a new SKU. We're going to list it on the same SKU, and the SKU is not going to have the right price. So be it, doesn't really make a big difference. The right cost is going to be in Inventory Labs.
And then the same thing when you use a prep center, the same SKU setup.
They're supposed to. Me and prep centers don't always get along, but yes, they're supposed to use the same SKU. Where we run into a problem, right, is, you know, right now we're using 4 prep centers in our warehouse because we just couldn't keep up with my warehouse. We were hit pretty hard with people that couldn't work because of COVID. We also took we only were letting limited amount of people in the warehouse, so we had to branch out to some more prep centers. So And if I buy 50 of a shoe and I send 20 to one prep center and one to my warehouse, and they're both listing the same day, we're going to end up with multiple SKUs. Again, they know they're supposed to reuse the SKU when they can, and that's what we encourage. Even if it's an old SKU, I'd rather do that than start creating new SKUs.
No more yet.
No more. Hey, we're going to get this under 2 hours. Cool. Well, if anybody has any questions, we'll post the recording. If anybody has any questions, certainly post it, Jared. Did something pop up, or was that just an old one?
No, it did. What do you use for a replenishment tracker?
This is Google Sheets, this thing right here. Or is there... Am I misunderstanding?
Maybe when do you know? How's your Walmart sales been going?
We haven't done Walmart. We signed up and then we stopped. We didn't go any further.
Oh, you mean selling on Walmart? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know you.
Yeah, I think I posted in the group that I'd signed up for Walmart back. So I had an aversion to MF. So I had an aversion to even thinking about Walmart because, well, I'm not going to MF. Again, I'm working out of a 2,500 square foot warehouse where we're, it doesn't work with our volume really to do MF. So we move, 1,000 pairs, 800 to 1,200 pairs of shoes a day nowadays. I just can't MF that out of a 2,500 square warehouse. So, when we got locked down and only could MF, I was like, hey, this is not too bad. And my warehouse loved it. So we signed up for Walmart. Like, well, for MFing, we might as well sell on Walmart. But right as we signed up for Walmart, then they opened up FBA. And then, of course, we went back to 100% FBA. So we haven't revisited it Walmart. But, diversification is good. There's many reasons it's good. But it also takes my eye off the ball. Amazon's where I make my money. That's where I'm putting my effort. Again, someday maybe I'll, hire somebody who's versed in Walmart to stand us up and start doing that. But again, our money is doing this and me trying to stand up Walmart so that I can MF a few, Walmart sell some things is not worth it. Now, I'm interested. I know some high volume people that use multi-channel fulfillment, which I think you're not supposed to do, but you use that for Walmart. Again, I need to do some analyzing, but I'm not doing it right now.
Your parameters for third-party sellers to buy from, and what percentage of your OA purchases are from Amazon?
My purchases from Amazon are small. I'm not buying a lot of Amazon. Again, I'm in the Amazon. We're in the. I have the Amazon Flip group, obviously, and I buy some, but from our total volume or whatever, we're not talking major.
Yeah, because they limit us. They limit to 3 per size or 3 per.
Yeah. So again, I don't mean this to be a.
It's good for me, bad for somebody that wants to buy 100.
Yeah. So again, I do plenty of Amazon flips, but again, I do a lot more OA than Amazon. Again, one of the things that I try to do is make sure that we're diversified across different different stores and whatnot. So we're not heavy into Amazon flips, heavy, how do I work this? We use Amazon flips or identifying Amazon flips more to buy from other suppliers. So, in Q4, Walmart was our biggest supplier, I think. Every single 95% of what I found on Walmart was going to keep finding something on Amazon when it was priced low or used to be priced low and just went out of stock. That Amazon was price matching Walmart and buying it from Walmart, or buying 3 to 10 from Amazon and buying 200 from Walmart. Mm-hmm. So, and the same thing's true for shoes. I can find an item where Amazon only has 3, that they're going to limit me to 3, and I'll buy 3, 3 shoes per size from Amazon, and then I'll go to Macy's and buy 10 per size. Again, not always buying 10 per size type of deal, but again, when I am finding the stuff that I like, I'm buying. Again, I'm focusing on that stuff that I can buy more of.
And then the third-party sellers, I think you're just like me, like 6PM and Amazon-owned company.
Oh yeah. I'm not buying a lot. I buy 6PM. If it's an Amazon-based one, I'm not buying a lot of third-party sellers. I'm not buying from somebody that's like me most of the time. I'm buying from the bigger corporations. Mostly, I'm buying from Amazon 6PM. The paying the 6PM, for those of you that don't live in a state that has tax-free on shoes and clothes, is even if you have tax exempt, 6PM doesn't take it when you buy it through Amazon, so then you get charged tax. But that's also one of the reasons that a prep center works is all our prep centers are in tax-free sales tax-free states, so we never pay tax anything we send to those places. So it's a good. It'll pay for itself just with the sales or whatever, or the sales tax savings.
Do you know what percentage of stuff is damaged when it arrives, like smashed shoe boxes and stuff?
It's an annoying amount, but no, I don't know. It is actually, I think, something that is on my list to actually start tracking, but I don't have, as much as I love data and have data for most things, I don't have a percentage on that. It might be 5%, it might be 10%. It also depends on the store and it depends on what you're buying. And also it depends. Like, hey, but I bought those slides, those $15 slides. I would, brown box them if they arrive damaged. Like, I don't have a problem with selling slides especially if a lot of the slides will have the hanging table, they'll give you the box, but they'll have the hanging.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
The hanger in there that still has UPC.
Yeah.
We'll just,
it might even say Nike on it too.
Yeah, so we will polybag those or brown box those, and I don't have a problem with that. But we won't do that with regular Nike shoes. We'll return them. We'll eat it. We'll give it to our eBay guy. It is what it is. It's a very annoying part of OA, but it is what it is.
That's all so far.
Awesome.
Or for good.
Yep. Okay, well, as I was getting last time, if anything comes up with any questions, let me know. For those that you are in the flip group, well, thanks for subscribing. And I can start calling it a flip group. It's more an OA group. Thank you for subscribing. If there's any of you that are not in the OA group, because we opened this up to some of you guys in the RA Sourcing Secrets group, certainly if you're interested in OA and learning more about OA, certainly reach out and we can, get you in. I think, do we still have a promotion, Steve, of gift cards or something like that?
Yeah. It's like 50% back for the first month.
Yeah, I think like right now it's $150 a month, but we have a $75 back in gift card. So again, if you want to see, see some of the OA leads that we post, certainly check it out. Let me know any questions or whatever. 7-day money back guarantee, whatever. If you really want, I can even put you in and let you test it out or whatever, and then take you out if you don't like it. Again, we're confident that we're providing high value leads that that you'll like it, or maybe it's not for you. Again, it's not for everybody. I'm not offended at all. But yeah, if you are interested, certainly let me know. We have a few spots now. I'm not sure how Q4 comes and usually fill up, but we certainly have some spots now.
Yeah, close to back to school, it starts filling up too.
Yeah, so usually by August. So again, you have some time. And again, no rush right now. We're good. There's plenty of spaces. So, but I think that's it. If you are interested in RA, the RA Sourcing Secrets group is a great group. It was a great entry point for me of trying to figure out how to do RA, because I always looked at things very differently from an OA perspective. I've admittedly sort of went back to my roots and doing more OA, but again, there's a lot of great value in that group, and definitely a group that is worth checking out if you do RA or considering to do RA, considering hiring shoppers. There's a lot of great information that is worth checking out. So think that's it. I'm gonna stop babbling. It is over 2 hours. I thought we were gonna get under 2 hours, but so okay. Is that all she wrote? No questions popping up in here?
Somebody wanted the link, but
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let me post that here. You have it, handies?
no, that's what I was looking for too.
We are very bad
Promoters.
promoters and affiliates and all that other crap. I almost forgot to even mention any of that crap, but let's see.
I'm
Who
almost
can
there.
get it? What's that?
I just went into Gumroad, so I'm almost there.
Oh yeah, I went to Sourcing Simplifiers. Anybody that's in Sourcing Simplifiers, it's an announcement. There it is here. You can message me or whatever, and I can give you the information. But I think that should get you there. All right, guys. Let's see. There we go. We both hit them. You actually probably hit them with the right limb, and mine gave them the edit link or whatever. So, again, anybody has any questions, certainly feel free. We'll post the recording. I don't know how that works. Where you pull it off your computer and put it onto like YouTube?
Yeah, probably tomorrow because it takes a while to process and download, especially 2
Yeah,
hours.
it takes a while because I babble on way too long. But yeah, did you? We'll get that posted in a little bit. All right. Thanks everybody.